Hi, my name is Sai, and I work as a DevOps engineer at Blue Jeans. So I would like to share my experience with Rundeck and present the same for RootConf 2016. So my topic is one-click deploy using Rundeck. Let me briefly introduce Rundeck. Rundeck is an open source ops tool with a simple UI and a beautiful support for user management, so you don't need to create a new setup. And you can so Rundeck integrates with your config management tools, your CI pipeline, as well as your log servers, and to do a lot of things. So if you talk about config management, existing tools that are being used like Chef, Puppet, and even Ansible up to one level don't do perfect or simple deploy solutions. So they are good at config management, but to deploy whatever code that you have changed in your recipes, you need to do Puppet run or Chef client run. And so when you do these triggers, then only the changes that you made in the recipes are applied to your infrastructure. So the other way of solving that is by doing a demonization of these tools. But you have problems when you come to prod environments or stage environments which are critical, and you don't want to break these environments when you do this. So Rundeck has rolling deploys built into it. So you can do a test run or a canary run and then trigger a job which will do uh, a rolling deploy as well as a complete simultaneous deploys parallelly. So all this can be triggered just from a Slack or a HipChat channel. So that's the kind of automation that can be done using Rundeck. So also Rundeck can be added as a core piece into your CI pipeline. So you could have a CI pipeline wherein your Jenkins triggers the builds and stores it in the Artifactory like an Nexus or Artifrog, and from there you can sync. You can use Rundeck to sync the builds onto the infrastructure, and then Rundeck triggers the Chef client run, and then you can also get it to do some custom jobs. So that's possible using Rundeck, and it's all part of a job. And you'll be notified through the Slack or HipChat or whatever channels that you put for this. The other things that Rundeck is capable of is like doing a self-service. So you can give out all these jobs to QA teams, devs to do their own deploys, to do their own builds, and you don't need to monitor these. And so this is pretty useful because if you see, ops have their hands full with a lot of deploys at several points of the time. So this will be very useful for QA and devs to do their own jobs. Also, you will see that there are some common tasks which are repetitive, and which at the same time you don't want to give control of the servers to devs or to QA to just because they might break these nodes. So what you can do is you can write a job which will so a custom job would be stopping a particular service, triggering some run, and then changing some value, uploading the logs to S3 bucket, or uploading the logs to an Elk stack or Fluentd, and then stop your job and then send a notification. So all of those can be bundled into a job, and this can be given out with the required ACL policy to QA teams or dev teams. I have seen some other environments wherein people are doing a rolling Elasticsearch node restart using Rundeck. So there are no limitations for Rundeck. So as long as you can script it, you can create a job and do anything with this. The other final solution that I wanted to mention was, so if you're using so Rundeck neatly fits into your cloud environments. So it can populate, if you give the proper project permissions, you'll be able to list out all your EC2 nodes, and then do a deploy on those nodes, or any of these jobs can trigger on those nodes. You could also trigger any CloudWatch or a cloud based incidents, and have a job run out of these. So let's say you are watching a particular metric, and if the metric threshold level crosses above 80%, you can trigger a job which would scale up a server, or maybe um, just watch your JVM heap size or add on more. So there are a lot of things that can be done, and that's the idea of Rundeck. As in, so it's not just a one tool which is designed for one thing. It can fit in anywhere, and it can solve the problems. And finally, by using Rundeck, you're having a centralized access. You are able to have a user trackability as to who has triggered a particular job, and you know what changes have been done to the server. And so you have a efficient user management also included. So that's my brief intro on Rundeck. Thank you for listening.